everybody. In this video I'm going to be showing you how to do a perfectly square, seamless granny square. So I've done an ordinary granny square here using one of my own tutorials, and this is one where the chains run up one side of the granny square. And it may not be obvious to you in a solid yarn like this, but sometimes if you're using variegated yarns and things, the seam can actually become really quite obvious as you work up. So you can see here, if I just bring my hook, you can see my chain threes are running up this particular granny square along here. So again, to an untrained eye, it might not be obvious, and especially in a solid colour, but as I say, in variegated colours especially, and sometimes in certain solid colours as well, they can be really obvious. So you can see that mine is running on a zigzag up there, and it would continue like that throughout the whole of a granny square, no matter how big it got. But also the other thing in this tutorial that I'll be showing you is how to keep them perfectly square. So again, on smaller granny squares, it's not massively obvious. Obviously this is a small one and it's still perfectly square and everything's facing as it should. However, the larger a granny square gets using this technique where you don't turn, after quite a few rounds you will notice that it starts to get a little bit distorted and your stitches will seem to twist, and so it won't stay perfectly square. It's almost like it tilts on a bit of a spiral the further you go. So in this tutorial I will be showing you how to keep them absolutely perfectly square. No matter how big you make your granny square, it will stay perfectly square. It won't twist or anything like that, and I will be showing you how to make it seamless. So if you take a good look at this granny square, I will just hold it still for just a minute. I don't think you will be able to tell where each round has started or finished. I don't think you'll be able to tell. But this is the seamless granny square, but I will tell you now that it has, all of my rounds have started and ended up this diagonal corner here. But as I hold it, you probably cannot tell at all. So this tutorial will be perfectly straight granny squares that don't distort or twist, and also how to get a completely flush and seamless join so that there's no zigzaggy stitches working up your beautiful projects. So let's crack on. So I'm literally just using some leftover Paintbox Chunky to do this. I do find that it's easier to use a chunky yarn for demonstrating things. So you want to start with your slip knot on your hook, and then you're going to chain 4. So yarn over and pull through. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we want to make this into a circle for us to work all of our stitches into. So in that very first chain, just next to your slip knot, you're going to insert your hook and slip stitch. So that means to yarn over and pull through both of those loops. And that there now has given you a little circle that you'll be able to work your first round of stitches into. So we want to start by chaining 2. You can chain 3 to be at the height for your trebles, but I think it hides the join even more if you just do a chain 2. So that is going to count as our first treble. So remember, these are UK terms. In the US, all of these stitches are double crochet. So you want to do your first UK treble, so you want to yarn over, insert into that centre ring that you created, yarn over and pull up, and you'll have 3 loops on your hook, and you're going to yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops, yarn over and pull through the second 2 loops. So that is your first treble. You then want to do one more treble, so yarn over again, go back into that centre circle, yarn over and pull up. Again, you've got your 3 loops, and you're going to yarn over, pull through the first 2, and yarn over again and pull through the second 2. And so that creates the first little section of your square. So for the corners I only chain 2, so 1 and 2, and that is going to create our first corner space. And then we're going to go back into that centre circle again, and we're going to do our next set of 3 trebles. So yarn over and insert and pull up, and then yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So you're going to do that 2 more times, because all of these are going to be in sets of 3. Yarn over, pull through the final 2, so 1 more, and that has created our next set of stitches. So again, we want to create the corner, and we do that by chaining 2. And so you want to have 2 more sets of these 3 trebles now. So I'm going to speed up just a little bit, but obviously you can pause if you want to. So you want 3 more trebles, so 1, 2, and 3. So we've now got 3 sides to our square here. So we want to create the next corner, so you're going to chain your 2 stitches, and then we're going to do our 4th and final set of 3 trebles. That's 1. You may need to pull your stitches around ever so slightly to make them all fit in. So final treble for this round, and I now have got 4 sets of 3 trebles, and they are separated by the chain 2, which has created our corners. So we need to do our final corner just here in between these 2 sets of stitches. So again, you're going to chain 2, and then we want to join up this round, and we want to work into the top of the chain 2. So you can see the tops of your trebles are here, but we want to work into the chain 2. So you can see I've got 1 chain and then 2. So I'm going to insert my hook through that stitch. I do like to make sure that I get 2 loops on the hook, like so. So I have got the top 2 loops of that chain 2, and I'm going to slip stitch, so yarn over and pull through both of those loops. And so there now, if I just pull that out slightly, you can see I have got the first round of my granny square. So that is how you should be looking. And so what you want to do is turn your work. So I have done my slip stitch, and I'm going to turn my square around now. So I've got the back of that square facing me, so you can see I've got my tail on this side. And what we want to do now, because we want it to be seamless, we don't want to chain up from this point here. What we actually want to do is slip stitch into that corner space. So you're going to insert your hook straight into that corner space, yarn over, and just pull through that loop that's on the hook. And so now we're working straight up from that corner space. So we want to chain 2, which is going to count as our first treble, and then we are going to work our first set of corner stitches. So we've done a chain 2, and now we want to do 2 more trebles into this corner space. So you're going to yarn over, back into that corner space, and do 2 more trebles. So that's 1 and 2, and we will finish off this corner space when we get back round to the other side in just a minute. Now I also don't chain anything in between on my sides, so I am going to go straight over these trebles into the next corner space, and create our new corner. So we want to do a set of 3 trebles. 1, 2, and 3, and we need to create our corner. So we're going to chain 2, and then we're going to go back into that same corner space and do 3 more trebles. So all into that same corner space. So that's 1, 2, and 3. So you can see now that that has created a brand new corner in that space. So again, we're going to jump straight over this next set of trebles from the previous round, and we're going to go straight into a new corner stitch. So 3 trebles, 1, 2, and 3. So that is our first set for this corner. Create your corner with your chain 2, and then all back into that same chain space you're going to do your next 3 trebles. 1, 2, and 3. So now you want to complete your next corner. So again, jump over these trebles, and I'm going to go a little bit quicker again now, and you can pause if you want to, but you want to do your 3 trebles, chain 2, 3 trebles, all into this same space. So I've done my chain 2 and 3 trebles, 1, 2, and 3. And so we're on the final section now, the final space. So we've already done half of it because we've already done our 3 trebles. So we need to just do another 3 trebles. So into that corner space, you're going to do your 3 trebles. 1, 2, and 3. But obviously we need to create the actual corner now by doing a chain 2. And then we're going to slip stitch again into the top of that beginning chain 2 from where we started from. So you're going to count up 1 and 2, and you're going to slip stitch into that chain 2. And again, that is round 2 complete. So I will show you round 3, but then after that you will be able to continue on your own. So again, I've slip stitched to close, and I'm going to turn once again. So this is the way that it's going to keep perfectly square. It's not going to distort or twist, and you won't have a seam running up the middle. So again, I've turned and I'm going to slip stitch into the corner space. I'm going to chain 2, and then I'm going to do my first set of trebles. So I've done 1, obviously that chain 2 counts as the first, so I need 2 more, 1 and 2. Now along the straight edge we actually have a space to work into this time, but remember I don't chain anything in between my clusters of trebles unless I'm in a corner space. So I've done my first set here, and I'm going to jump across these trebles now and work my next set into this space, but I do not chain anything in between. So 3 trebles along the straight edge, so 1, 2, and 3. And then again, you can see that I'm going into a corner space. So again, you don't chain anything between these. We are going to go straight in with our first set of 3 trebles. 1, 2, and 3. But because we are in the corner, you want to chain 2 and then you're going to do your next set of trebles for the corner in that very same space. So you must always make sure that your corners are worked into the corner space from the previous row, so into the chain 2 space, and that you do your 3 trebles, chain 2, 3 trebles. And then again, along the straight side, we have got a space here to work into. So we don't chain anything, we just go straight in with 3 trebles. 1, 2, and 3. So again, we're going into a chain 2 corner space, so we want to create the new corner. So 3 trebles, chain 2, and back into the same corner space, a further 3 trebles, 2 and 3. So if you want to continue working that around now and do your set of 3 trebles into the straight edge space and a new corner into the next corner space, so your 3 trebles, chain 2, 3 trebles, and then you've got one final straight edge to do on this side, and then I will meet you back at that final edge, but I'm just going to keep going here. So my 3 trebles and a new corner, and like I say, you can always skip ahead or pause depending on how fast you're working this. So I'm in a corner, so I need to do my chain 2 and my 3 trebles back in the same space. 2 and 3. And so my final straight edge now, and I'm going to work my 3 trebles. So remember, don't chain anything along the straight edge. 2 and 3. So I am now back to my very first corner space where we started from. If you're literally only just starting out, it can sometimes get a little bit confusing as to where your round needs to finish. So in that case, you can always pop a little stitch marker or a little scrap of different coloured yarn just through the top of that chain 2 space there, that chain 2, sorry, or in between your trebles, just so that you know that this cluster of 3 stitches is the first cluster that you did of the round, and that is where you need to finish the round as well. So I've done my straight side here, and I've worked half of this corner, so I need to work the other half of the corner. So I need to do my 3 trebles, 2 and 3. And then again, always remember to do that final chain 2 to make the corner, and then we're ready to close the round with a slip stitch to the top of that chain 2. And so you can see now that my square is perfectly square. It's not distorting, it's not twisting, and you can't see a seam or anything running on any side or any lumps and bumps or anything. It is seamless. So you should be able to use that now to carry on to make this as massive as you want. So you always just remember that once you've closed your round with that slip stitch, you're going to turn and slip stitch back into that corner space. Chain 2, and you're ready to work the round again. So you can always rewind back to the beginning of the last row just to firm up that placement, but you'll do your 2 further trebles because that chain 2 counts as 1, and then you'll work your straight edge trebles and then your corner trebles. But that is it for this tutorial itself. I really do hope that it has been useful for you. I know quite a few of you were asking about seamless granny squares, so I'm hoping that this has answered your questions, and I will see you for another tutorial very, very soon. But bye bye for now.